Digital ID was sold as a thing that would finally stop identity theft. Like one secure passport on your phone, one verified account, and just one supposedly safe way to prove that you are indeed a real person. But this year, the people building this infrastructure, well, they keep proving the exact damn opposite. Like the more you centralize your identity, the more valuable those data breaches become. And honestly, the most embarrassing example just happened with the UK's online visa portal, which perfectly illustrates how the fake trusted looking portal you are forced to use is actively leaving your most sensitive documents completely exposed to the entire internet, and just how incompetent these people are. Like imagine just trying to travel or process your paperwork, and the highly official looking website demands that you upload a nice picture of your literal passport along with a biometric verification selfie. You do it because it looks legit, and you probably expect that the authorities are locking that information up in a military grade digital vault. Well, it turns out that the specific portal wasn't even being run by the actual government. It was being run by an unnamed third party vendor who somehow managed to leave over 100,000 of those passport scans and selfies completely unsecured and publicly accessible for anyone to browse. Like they didn't get outsmarted by some sophisticated nation state 0-day exploit. Like they just failed at basic computer photo security. And this reveals the most dangerous flaw in this entire digital ID rush. And it is a reality that nobody pushing these laws wants to admit. Like the best recurring villain in this entire story isn't like some shadow hacker in the basement. It is the outsourced identity infrastructure that runs the entire operation. Because the brutal truth is you are not trusting the government, you're just trusting whoever the government decided to hire. When those random low-brain tech startups have a massive data breach down the line, like they aren't the ones who get their identities stolen. Your identity is gone. Now, you might naturally assume that the easy peasy fix is just kick out those reckless third party vendors and let the actual government handle the digital ID system directly. But that is exactly where the second massive crack in this whole illusion appears. Like, the truth is that even real government ID portals can leak massive citizen databases. Just a couple of months ago, in April of this year, the French government learned this the hard way with their official identity document platform. This was supposed to be the shining golden example of a highly secure state-run hub for millions of citizens to safely manage their sensitive government data without having to rely on outside tech startups. But instead of being an unbackable digital fortress, well, the platform suffered one of the largest and most humiliating administrative data leaks in the history of France itself, exposing the personal records of up to 90 million innocent French people. And the craziest part about this massive breach is how incredibly simple the vulnerability actually was. The system had a basic flaw in the website design where unauthorized people could essentially just manipulate literally the web address parameters in their browser to view other people's private data. Like, this wasn't some complex Hollywood style cyber attack that took months of planning. Like, it was a fundamental failure in basic web development that allowed someone to scoop over 19 million records, including full names, date of birth, postal addresses, just all of that, all that stuff, and then immediately post the entire database for sale on criminal forums. When a national government just tries to force a centralized digital ID system on its citizens, well, they are essentially promising that they possess the elite technological competence to defend that central honeypot against the entire world. But when an official state agency gets completely dismantled by vulnerabilities so basic that a high school computer science student could literally spot it, it shatters any trust people have in the system. You cannot make this up. But the absolute scariest escalation in this entire digital identity push isn't just about losing your home address or just having to reset a password. It is the aggressive shift towards tying your digital footprint to your actual physical body, because biometrics make the damage permanent. We have officially reached a point where the data being demanded by these systems is no longer replaceable. In May of this year, a major healthcare network in the big old New York City posted a devastating breach notice revealing at least 1.8 million people had their most private data exposed to the dark web. I'm not going to state what that is, but it was not just basic names and emails. I can tell you that medical records, government IDs, and horrifyingly actual fingerprint and palm print biometrics. You can always ring up your bank to cancel a stolen credit card, and you can easily order a replacement driver's license if you lose your wallet. But You cannot cancel your own fingerprints, unfortunately. And guess exactly how the hackers got access to this heavily guarded hospital network. Like, take a guess. Like, once again, they didn't even have to break through like the main front door. Like, they just snuck in through a vulnerable third-party vendor that was quietly connected to their core systems. Like, this is the exact permanent nightmare scenario that privacy advocates have been desperately warning us about for years. Like, when you force everyday people to use biometric scans to verify their digital identity, like, you are just simply creating a massive lifelong databases of human physical traits. And once a hacker gets their hands on a centralized server full of fingerprints or facial scans, oh damn well they're having a field day. But that biometric data just becomes a permanent, unchangeable liability for every single person on that list. Like, we are rushing headfirst into this futuristic reality where your physical body is treated like an ultimate secure password. But the tech companies managing these networks are still getting compromised by basic supply chain vendor attacks, turning your own body into a permanent security risk. Like, I just cannot believe this. The incredible thing of watching these three distinct levels of failure unfold, from shady outsourced portals to massive government databases right down to literally like permanent biometric data, is that the grand narrative of maximum security is completely falling apart in real time, and the people responsible are totally panicking. Like, for years, tech executives and politicians have been strutting around simply on stages, aggressively telling everyone that centralized internet IDs are simply the inevitable future of a modern society, and that anyone who questions it is just a paranoid conspiracy theorist living in the past. But regular people are finally starting to realize that these billion-dollar privacy companies and also like government tech agencies have been acting like nobody is ever going to look underneath the hood of their software. Like, the illusion relies entirely on us believing that these centralized systems are impenetrable digital fortresses run by absolute geniuses. But every time a security researcher presses F12 or checks the network logs, well, that facade just immediately crumbles. Like, we are seeing a massive, entirely predictable train wreck unfold across the globe this year, with lawmakers even having to introduce emergency bipartisan bills just to try and crack down on the rapidly rising wave of digital identity fraud that is costing everyday like taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars. Like, criminal organizations are actively exploiting these centralized identity honeypots faster than literally the governments and third-party tech companies can even patch them. The harsh, verifiable truth is that centralizing everyone's identity into massive digital vaults does not actually stop fraud. It just creates the most incredibly lucrative, highly concentrated targets in the history of the internet, and the engineers building them are failing the most basic like security tests imaginable. But honestly, instead of just feeling like doomed about all of this, like, we should actually be looking more so at what is happening right now as a massive victory for everyday internet users. The hopeful part is that the digital ID plan is being exposed before it becomes impossible to avoid. And when people actually look under the hood, the whole thing looks a lot less inevitable. Like, every single time one of these platforms gets caught leaving passports in a literal like public folder or completely fails to secure a biometric database, the global pushback, well, it gets stronger and more organized. Like, citizens and regulators are actively waking up to the fact that you cannot simply treat human identity like a cheap digital commodity to get traded and stored by random third-party contractors. Like, the narrative has completely shifted from blind acceptance to demanding actual hard evidence these systems are safe. And the vendors are completely failing to provide that evidence. Like, we are watching the real-time dismantling of a terrible idea before it can permanently lock us in. So yeah, that's it for this video. Drop a comment if you want, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Like, once again, this is really fun to make.